We might just give it one more minute. I know Teams can be difficult to access sometimes, so we'll just give it another few minutes. I think we'll kick off there, and if others join, we can do a little catch up at the end. But I think we'll kick off there at the moment. So, hello everyone. You're very welcome to this session today on postgraduate study in the School of Modern Languages and Applied Linguistics. So just a couple of housekeeping points to note. This session is being recorded. We will keep the Q&A to the end of the session just to keep track on time. And I will be sending follow-up information to all attendees via our recording, and I'll send course web pages, links to the courses and that sort of thing after the call as well. So please don't feel like you have to take down notes from this presentation or anything, because it'll all be sent to you afterwards also. So just to kick off, I'm just going to share a couple of slides just on the postgraduate programs within the school here. So just give me 1 second to share my screen. I hope you can all see that. I'll just check one thing just for a second now. I hope you can see that now. You might let me know if you can't. So that's great. So just to show you the programs we have on offer here in the school. So there's the MA in Applied Linguistics, the MA TESOL, or Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, and our 2 new programs for intake for the academic year 2025-26, the MA in Translation and the MA in Migration. And I'll go through all these programs quickly there over the next couple of slides, just to give you an insight into what is offered on the programs and the benefits of doing the program as well. So for the MA in Applied Linguistics International, you're using language to understand and help solve real-world problems, both in schools, workplaces, organizations, and anywhere where there's groups coming together, really. So there is general modules that you take as part of this program, but you also take specialized electives in pragmatics, translation, language policy, pedagogy, and languages. There's also in the spring semester an international placement, so it's Erasmus Plus funded, and you can do these in Besançon in France, in Seville in Spain, and Vienna in Austria. But early planning is essential, and if you're interested in doing this, I would speak to members of faculty teaching on the program. Marta Giralt is the course director, and she'd be able to assist in this regard. But just to ensure that if you are thinking of doing this, just to inquire within the school early in that regard also. And just to note that there's a thesis or an internship option as part of the, I suppose, that 30 credit summer semester submission. So it's either major research dissertation that you do, or you've the option of an internship either locally or internationally also. So why applied linguistics? Obviously, as I've mentioned, you have the option to spend the second semester on external academic placement, and you gain valuable international experience. You have the opportunity to gain career development skills in a relevant area through the internship. You've advanced proficiency and academic writing modules. For international students, it's particularly beneficial for them to enhance their English language skills. And obviously, there's a wide range of options to allow students to tailor their choice of electives, such as teaching, translation, sociolinguistics, language technology, and language and inclusion in organizations as well. And careers include teaching at various levels, including third level, translation, business publishing, materials development, consultancy, and further study to PhD, as they're listed there. So moving on to the MA TESOL or MA Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, it's designed for both novice and experienced English language teachers. So we've had both come in through intake on the program, and they've both benefited from doing this program. You also do advanced proficiency in academic writing modules, and again, this is very good for non-EU students who want to enhance their English language skills on the program also. There's linguistic content, pedagogical content, and teaching related research as well. And just to note, the core modules do focus on second language acquisition and teaching and learning, but there's quite practical modules in the elective modules on teaching practice where you're monitored and assessed by tutors, and they will give you tailored feedback on your teaching practice, which is really beneficial for anyone looking to go into teaching English in various markets as well, because you get that really tailored feedback on your teaching practice. So again, you can either do a thesis, a major research dissertation, or you can do a local or international internship as well as part of the program. So again, why TESOL? In comparison to other English language qualifications, it does qualify you to teach at MA level, which some other qualifications would not. As I mentioned, there's a strong practical element to the program. So you're applying what you're learning in classroom settings, and you're experiencing the content in a real world setting. The faculty are also internationally recognized, and they research and publish regularly and are experts in their field. The professional entry to this industry is really valuable with this program as well. Like, we have graduates teaching all over the world, in Asia, in the Middle East, and across Europe also. So it does present a wide variety of opportunities for graduates doing this program. And obviously the career opportunities are there's quite a good few pathways within within this program. So that would include both school management, English language school management, publishing, materials development, technical writing, adult education, and we've had quite a few graduates actually pursue PhD level study as well. So there's quite a variety of pathways out of that program as well. So I'm just going to take a break from talking there. I think my slides have frozen a bit. Sorry now, just 1 second. Things never go smoothly, do they? Okay, so I'll restart the program. Sorry now. I'll just stop sharing for 1 second. Apologies, guys. I hope you can see that now. Apologies for that. So I'll go back to this slide here. Just see if I can wait a second. This should play. No. I'll actually find it on YouTube. I'll just be 2 seconds there. Sorry now. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong, isn't that it? We get over it though. So I'll just play this quickly for you. You might let me know if you can't hear the sound.
The MA in Translation at UL is a 1-year full-time program or 2 years part-time program, and that equips students with knowledge and skills, and not only linguistic, about the linguistic aspects of translation, but also cultural and intercultural, and of course gives them an insight into what's happening in the translation and localization industry.
This program uses cutting-edge technology and software to enhance learning for students. This ensures that students are confident in using these tools, and they're also well positioned for technological advances in this area in the future.
Students learn by doing in this program at UL, and among other things, they will get to create their own translation company as part of the Simulated Translation Bureau module. They will also have the opportunity to do an internship after the taught part of the MA in the summer. Throughout the year, they will be developing a portfolio of translations, a portfolio of work, both into English, into their other language.
They will acquire strategies needed to deal with current challenges in translation work, and students can also build their knowledge in specific subject areas, as elective domain modules are offered in areas such as literature, law, business and Irish, amongst others. The students get the opportunity to gain real-world experience with an option to complete an internship programme as part of the course with partner organisations. It equips students for careers in translation companies, in international organisations and institutions, and in the localisation industry.
Graduates can also become freelance translators and offer their expertise on a project-by-project basis. And then beyond the traditional translation pathways, graduates can also work in editing, proofreading, in multinational and multilingual contexts as project managers, language consultants, and many other options.
Right, so I'll just go back to the presentation there now. Apologies for the technical difficulties there. So I'd probably reiterate a lot of what has been said there in the video, but why an MA in translation? So it's really designed for language graduates looking to progress their career in translation. And there's an ideal mix of theory, as you can see from the applied learning through our internship option, but also the Translation Simulation Bureau. And core modules really focus on theory and practice in translation, the Translation Bureau, and the creation of a translation portfolio, which is very beneficial post-graduation, going into interviews and pursuing a career in this area. Also, there's elective modules, domain modules in law, business, technical design, politics and linguistics, amongst others. So for the summer semester, there are 3 options to complete a thesis like the previous programs, do an internship either locally or internationally, or an extended translation project also. And as mentioned in the video, there's multiple career pathways. So translation companies or international organizations as translators, roles in localization in multinationals, and graduates can also become freelance translators and really have a flexible kind of working life, offering their expertise on a project by project basis also. And finally, the MA in migration. Obviously, migration is becoming a more pressing issue given the various conflicts going on in the world and the migration of people from one place to another. And it's one of the most complex issues really of the 21st century. So this program is really looking to explore migration in all its different forms. There's core modules on the introduction to migration studies and theoretical frameworks regarding migration, and also elective modules in literary and media studies, geography, history, health, music, politics, sociology, human rights law, and psychology also. And again, there's 2 options within the summer semester for this program, a thesis and an internship, or an internship and report. So I study an MA in migration. The program format for this program is delivered both on campus and in hybrid form. So it may suit students who need that flexibility within a program. And it's very interdisciplinary. So it's covering a multitude of disciplines in one program and looking at migration in a holistic sense. So it is great to get that overall view of the issue of migration overall. And it, as I mentioned, it allows students to gain a deep understanding of the different aspects of migration. There's also an internship option, which allows students to apply learning in real world settings again. So applying that, theoretical learning in a real world scenario is really valuable, and it really feeds into great work experience pre-graduation and going into interviews and pursuing career pathways related to migration also. I suppose the career pathways really within this program would involve the work in the public or charitable sector, in the media, in administration, or in a variety of related roles related to the migration of people. So thanks for your time. Apologies for all the technical difficulties, but we got through it eventually. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at una.grace@ul.ie. I will be following up by email after this presentation, so you'll have my email then for any follow-up questions. Also, all the course pages are on the graduate and professional study site. So if you want a further insight into academic content, the contact details of the course directors for those programs will also be available on the website, which I will send after this webinar also. So now we're going to move on to a discussion with Kai Zhang. He's very kindly agreed to speak with us today and give an insight into the student experience. So I'll stop sharing here and I'll introduce you to Kai there now in a second. Right, Kai, how are you? Apologies, we struggled through a few difficulties there on the PowerPoint, but we got through it eventually. So, would you just introduce yourself to the group here, firstly? That's okay.
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Kai, and I'm from China. I was a English language teacher back in China before coming to UL, and I was a primary English language teacher at an international school. I'm very interested in languages, so and that's one of the reasons I chose to further my studies with a master's in applied linguistics.
Very good. So can I ask why you chose to do a master's at UL? What was the attraction to the University of Limerick in general?
Just like I was mentioning, I suppose it's a combination of consideration for professional development, as well as my own interest in languages. When I was deciding which university to go to for my master's study, and I compare different courses in different universities, and what I like about is the structure of the applied linguistics course in UL. So it has the core modules. I think a lot of the modules, they have a more emphasis on the theoretically, I suppose, and then you also get to choose some of the electives that are more practical. So I think I really like that combination, in comparison to other courses in other different university I was thinking about.
That's great, and I think that runs through all of the programs actually in the School of Modern Languages and Applied Linguistics. They are quite, there's vocational elements as well as academic theory and learning, which is great. So can you give us an idea of the supports available to students, whether that be international supports, but also academic supports as well?
Oh yeah, so I fell in love with the UL as soon as I came here, because I think in the beginning you have a lot of support and welcoming from the global UL global team, and they arrange a lot of activities. So I really enjoy those activities. And during your course, for us specifically for postgraduates, we have the postgraduate union, student union. So they have a like a office or place that you can go to and have coffee or tea, and then have lunch or just hang out with friends. Also, there are also other support from the library, and they often have a lot of webinars and so informational sections, and I've attended some of them, and they were very beneficial. And also in terms of the in the course, and I really love the professors and lecturers in the course. They were so supportive, and whenever I had questions, and when I was working on my modules, and I've some ideas I want to discuss with them, and they're always very supportive, helpful, and responsive.
That's great. And do you know, I suppose, were they supportive in the sense that you felt you were able to approach them? It wasn't kind of this big divide, and that it was very kind of close relationship. Was it that kind of scenario for yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. That's really nice, actually, isn't it? You know, to have that relationship with lecturers and tutors and everything else. Do you know? Um, so what do you think makes UL unique in comparison to other universities? Just before people joined, I was just commenting on your picture in the background and the
Uh,
nature around UL, but
yeah,
is there something that you think makes UL unique over other institutions?
yeah. Just speaking about the environment of the university, I've been to several other university in Ireland, and personally, I think UL is the best in terms of the view. Yeah, so it's very nice campus, and uh, and in terms of the academically, as I mentioned before, it's about the structure of the course. I think that's the most important to me personally, because my goal coming to do a master's course is to further my understanding in language learning, teaching. So I think I've achieved my goals through the course.
That's great, and it's great to kind of feel like you've really benefited and really fed into your own personal goals as well and personal aspirations as well. Do you know? So that's great. So I suppose you mentioned the close relationship you had with lecturers, tutors, and so forth. But what did you enjoy most about the program? I know you mentioned program structure too as being a benefit, but is there anything else that you really enjoyed about the MA Applied Linguistics program?
Yeah, so another thing is about the summer semester, the last semester. I chose to do a traditional dissertation, but it's something involve action research. So I was able to um, gain some support from the UL, the language school. So I was able to um, so kind of did some experiment regarding my research question with the students from the language school, and so I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so we have and my supervisor was very supportive, and we were having the experiments with the students, and also we had a structure interview. So it was a lot of fun, and while also learning a lot of gaining a lot of understanding about how we learn a language. So that
Yeah,
was one of the highlights. I
that's
think.
very, very interesting. A lot of people find dissertations quite stressful, and it's good you had an enjoyable process at least with,
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
I have to be honest, it's very challenging, but it's
yeah.
also very rewarding. Yeah.
Yes, and I think I think postgrad in general, it can be challenging at times, but it's a good sort of challenge, and it really challenges your own thinking and that sort of thing as well. Um, so how do you think the MA program really impacted your thinking and knowledge? And you mentioned the dissertation, which obviously helped you in your own kind of research and you followed your own curiosity in that regard. But what do you think are the most transformative elements? And you can mention the dissertation again if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, so I was reflecting about the course, and so because now it's mostly done, just waiting for the results. And I was thinking that like in the beginning we have this module, so we kind of the final assignment is to reflect on your own learning, language learning and teaching, and give a writer to, and then wrote an essay about it. So, and I think so it helped me to like start thinking about your own things, and then your own experiences in learning and teaching languages. And then later on, you have other modules um, to help you to deeper explore like different theories and methodologies about language learning and teaching. So I think so I was able to read a lot of different articles and a couple of books that I really enjoy. So I gained a like overall general understanding about language learning and teaching. So I really think that's very crucial for me personally.
That's great. And I think the postgraduate programs are really, it's for that deeper learning and that deeper understanding as well. So it's great that you had that benefit as well. So just finally, I'll just give time for Q&A at the end here, but I just want to ask you one final question. Like, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of applying for a postgraduate program in the school, whether it be the MA Applied Linguistics or other programs? Like, what would your advice be to students considering these options?
I think it depends on what your goals are. So for me, because I was looking for some growth in academically, and I work hard. So and for students who are also aiming to achieve like A-level work, I would suggest that to at the beginning of every module, so start thinking about what you want to do for the final assignment. Usually you will be introduced about the final assignments in the beginning. So because it takes time for the ideas to percolate, to develop. So I think it's important to start thinking about what you want to write about or research about in the beginning. And then also it's very, very important to not be afraid, be hesitated to reach out, because my personal experience, like I was saying, the lecturers, the professor, they're so supportive. So I was able to discuss my ideas about the final subjects like through several meetings with them online or in person. And so basically thinking ahead, and then do not hesitate to reach out for help.
That's great. And, and I think that's really good advice, to be proactive and, really look into the area you want to pursue and research. And we have a lot of current UL students here that possibly have an idea or, from their undergraduate courses. So that's great advice, Kai. So we might open the floor for questions. People can write questions into the chat there if they want to ask any questions to myself there. So Holly's asking, what career options are there in terms of working with children and linguistics combined, apart from school teaching? I suppose, Holly, yeah, I think I just wonder what you mean by children and linguistics. Is that kind of speech therapy, or what kind of area would that be? You might clarify there. Because because I think the applied linguistics program would really focus on pedagogy and teaching as well. Sorry, now we're all waiting with bated breath while you type there. Yeah, so I suppose it wouldn't necessarily, apart from teaching, I suppose, and you know, the analysis of linguistics in different settings. I think you were probably thinking more along the lines of speech therapy potentially, which is offered in UL actually as well. So you might have a look into that also. But I suppose that would be another option maybe for yourself, Holly. But I can speak to you offline if you want to go into more details. Probably hard in the chat here. Does anyone else have any other questions or anything they'd like to ask at the moment? Just to say, I do run one-on-one consultations every Monday and Friday. Obviously, next Monday is out with the bank holiday, but if anyone would like any one-on-one sessions with me, or if they want to reach out to the course directors directly, you probably have, some of you might have these course directors teaching you at undergraduate level in any case, but you know, their details are on the site as well. I'll just give it a few more seconds in case there's any other questions there at all. We're all just looking at the chat here at the moment, so I don't think so. I think we could probably wrap it up here if there isn't any burning questions or last minute questions there at the moment. I just would like to say thank you to Kai for coming on today and giving his insights. It's really useful, Kai, to give insights to fourth year students primarily who are just considering their options at the moment. So thank you so much for your time and your generosity in coming here today.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
No worries at all. It's good to see you had quite a good experience, and I know we've current UL students that hopefully are having the same experience also. Oh, Dawn is typing there. Oh, she's just saying thank you very much. That's no problem at all, Dawn, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions, particularly around the application process. Just to say the applications are open now. They've been open since the 16th of October and they will close on the 14th of August of next year. And if you have any questions around submitting your application or anything like that, I'd be happy to speak with anyone at all. And I can even put you in touch with alumni as well if you would like more insight. All right. Oh, great. We have someone from Italy. We've gone international here, so that's great. Thanks, everyone. You're very good. Okay, we leave it there. But thanks so much for coming today, and I'll follow up with further information there for everyone. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Kai. Thanks so much, Kai.
Bye.